Hey all, welcome to my webinar. My name is Jamey and today we're going to be discussing websites. We will be discussing how to find a web host, how to choose a domain name, choose a CMS, choose your brand identity, and to start marketing your business. So I'm the Senior Sales and Marketing Specialist here at Sterling. I've been in the sales and marketing game for the past 10 years and I love the psychology behind it. So now you've officially decided to take the leap and start your business. Now you need a website. But how do you do that? Building a website that generates revenue is not as hard as it may seem. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a website right the first time. We'll walk through the entire process. If you follow this video, you'll have a website when you are finished. Everything is explained in plain English. So don't worry if you're not familiar with domains and hosting. The important thing is getting your site up now. It's the first step on the road to a steady income into your new successful business. So let's take a look at the steps you need to take. Step 1. Your site needs to live somewhere. The first component of building a website is finding a web host. This may seem difficult, but it's really not. Think of your website as a collection of files. When it's hosted on your computer, only you can open it. But when you host those files on a web server, anyone can connect to that server through the internet. Hosting companies offer space on these servers for people's websites, so they don't have to maintain their own server. When you are searching for different web hosts, there are 3 major things that you need to look at. Number 1, uptime reliability. So uptime is how often your website is up and running. If your site is down, people can't access it, which renders it useless. Number 2, site speed. Site speed is super important. People don't stay on websites that take a long time to load, and Google ranks faster sites higher. And number 3, customer service. Customer service really matters because websites have issues. They just do. Being able to reach out to expert support and get your problem solved is hard to put a price on. Now, all of the reputable web hosting providers will have these areas covered. Just make sure you aren't going with a dodgy one. And don't go into a flat spin because you don't know any off the top of your head. Remember, Google and YouTube are your best friends. Step 2. Choose your perfect domain name. If you haven't already, it's time to pick a domain name for your website. The hardest thing about choosing a domain name is finding one that isn't already taken. You need both a web host and a domain name to build a website. So I'm going to give you a couple of options to help you find your perfect domain name. Option number 1, the brute force method. If you're a particularly creative person, you can try your hand at coming up with a great domain name by yourself. This was much easier years ago when fewer good domain names weren't taken, but it's still possible if you get creative. Pick any domain name register where you can purchase the domain and then search for the domain names that you come up with. It will tell you if the domain is available to purchase or not. Try and avoid using hyphens in a domain name, even if the domain name register is trying to give you the deal of a century. If you're brand new, take some time and review the list of domain names to find what suits you best. And let's be honest, what's the easiest to type and to remember, because you need your clients to be able to remember your website name. Option number 2, use a tool. If you need a little spark of creativity, there are some great free domain name generators at your disposal. Enter 1 or 2 keywords and the generator will look for ways to combine those words into a domain name. The really convenient part is that they also show you if the domain is available. You can register a name through the link they provide, which will be affiliated to a domain name register, or just go to your favorite register and do it. Once you've picked a domain name, you need to register it, then point your domain name to your hosting account. This is fairly simple. Your hosting company will send you an email after registering that will contain a DNS server, which looked like a web server address. If your Google name of dominant register, plus DNS server, you can typically find a help document that will show you where to input your domain name within your hosting account. In some cases, you might find the preferred domain name is unavailable. If that happens, try mixing up the words or adding a verb to the name. Step 3. Choose a CMS. Now, CMS stands for Content Management System. Remember that you store your website's files on the hosting server. If you really wanted to, you could edit these files every time you wanted to make a change to your business website. Obviously, that's kind of a pain to do. A CMS lets you edit your website from the domain itself. You can log into the domain and then customize your layout settings and content and create new posts and pages, often using website templates that are easy to use. In other words, it makes creating and updating a website much easier and saves you a ton of time. There's no perfect CMS. There are hundreds out there, some better than others. In general though, all of the top ones have different strengths and weaknesses. I'm operating under the assumption that you're just trying to get a relatively basic website or blog up and running. If you are, stick to one of the popular CMSs. It will make your life a lot easier. If you're trying to create a custom web app or application tool, you're going to need a custom solution. Either partner with a developer for your project or hire a development firm. I personally use WordPress as my CMS. WordPress is the king of CMSs in my opinion. It is by far the most popular option for this, and its user-friendly business website templates and ease of social media sharing. Just to save you from some confusion, WordPress.com is the third-party site where you can create free blogs, but WordPress.org is where you can download the WordPress software to install on a website. WordPress rose to fame as a fantastic blogging platform. If you're mainly looking to set up a blog-based website, it's a great option. It features a very intuitive admin backend and makes changing the most basic website templates options as well as creating new posts and pages simple. One area that is both a strength and a weakness is plugins. WordPress has over 57,000 plugins in its library. It's huge. This is good because it means that you can use plugins to make WordPress do almost anything that you want, including using social media to drive traffic to your business's website. However, not all aspects of plugins are good. They can bloat your site. It's important to not get carried away with plugins. If you have too many, they will significantly slow down your site. They can be a security risk. When plugins are kept up to date, they're pretty safe. However, since most plugins are free, the creators often stop maintaining them. Over time, they can become a security risk and can lead to your site getting hacked. They aren't heavily reviewed or tested. So anyone can publish a plugin for WordPress without approval. So when you install a plugin, you take a risk. Sometimes you will update a plugin and it will crash your entire site. Step number 4, choose your brand identity. At this point, you have some sort of a website up and running. Now we have to make it look awesome. For any major CMS, you'll install a theme. Themes are built on the basic CMS, but are customized to look and function differently. This allows themes to be built for different businesses, artists, entrepreneurs, podcasters, local businesses, and so on. How to find a great WordPress theme to build a website. You have a few different options when it comes to choosing a WordPress theme. The first option is to search within WordPress. If you pause this slide, you'll have a step-by-step guide to choose a theme on WordPress. Once you install a theme, you need to activate it for it to light up on your website. You can do that directly from the successful installation screen, or go back to your main theme page and you'll see your new theme as an option. Click it like before, but this time there will be an activate option as well as a live preview option if you're not sure that you actually want to activate it. The second option is to find a theme using a third-party site. These are typically premium themes, so I expect to pay quite a bit for a theme. You can find some great free themes, but the best ones are all premium options. It's a one-time fee, and I recommend if you're serious about your business, you can always start off with a free theme and then convert to a premium later though. Step number 5, start marketing your business. At this point, you should have a website that works and looks decent. You can finally finish with the most of the technical part of building a website and move on to the things you originally wanted to do. While it will vary depending on your project or business, try to do the following 4 things next. Step 1. Get a logo. Branding yourself is important. A logo is one of the main ways that customers will recognize your business. Step 2. Write your website copy. Right now, you have a pretty empty website. Start by getting familiar with your CMS, then create basic pages like the About page. Next, start filling in your home page with the first messages that you want your visitors to see. In step 3, install Google Analytics. While analytics don't matter right away, you'll want to start gathering data right away. Install Google Analytics code into your website so that you can track any visitors. Then read a guide to install to Google Analytics so you can start understanding how your website performs. I do have a link on the presentation for you if you want to take a look at that. Number 4, plan your marketing strategy. Now that you have a website and you know how to use it, it's time to figure out how you're going to get visitors to your site. So start marketing your site through to on all your social media, either via organic growth or paid ads. Now, organic growth does work. It just takes a little bit longer than paid ads. So decide, are you willing to wait or are you willing to spend? So in conclusion, before you start with the 5 steps to build a website, I need to tell you one more thing. Be patient. Everyone struggles a bit to build their first website, and most struggle while building their first website. You will get better, I promise. If you're getting frustrated with something, take a deep breath, relax for a minute, and then Google your problem. If you stick with the CMS that you've chosen, there are tutorials for just about everything out there. Alternatively, make use of YouTube. It's often easier to follow along with a video than it is to follow along with a text walkthrough. And while getting a website up and running, remember, it's not going to be a success overnight. It's just your first step. So keep learning, keep testing, and you will slowly but surely see real progress. I need to remind you just one more time. Google and YouTube are your best friends, so use them. But if you don't feel like going through the hassle at all, then give us a call. Maybe we'll be able to assist you. That's all for me. Until next time, bye.